let's talk about the most underrated eyeshadows that launched in 2024. And the best thing is these are only $5 each. And you can get them on sale. They do run sales here and there. These are from Beauty Creations. They have quite a few shades available. And you're getting 2 grams of product. I did buy all of these myself. I did buy them. I think they had a little bit of a sale going on, so they were under $5 each. And I do have almost all of the shades to swatch for you. I also did not pick up the bright pink. And then I think there was like 2 greens I did not pick up. So there's a couple of shades I don't have, but I think I have a decent amount to get an idea for these. So they come in this clear acrylic packaging, very, very similar to the Urban Decay Muda shadows in terms of it feels like nice and like heavy type of acrylic. The main difference is that this magnetizes off fully like this. So there's 4 magnets, and the best thing is if you get a bunch of them, you can just remove the lids from them and then you can magnetize them together. And the magnets are pretty strong, though I think this is getting a little bit like, I feel like this might be a little bit too much, so I don't know if I would stack this many together, pick them up like that and move them around, but regardless, really nice sturdy packaging. Metal pen that's inside the acrylic is not removable. If you're buying these, you're gonna have to keep them in here unless you want to do the whole depot thing. There are a couple of different textures between all the shades that I've gotten, so some of them are a little bit more extra sparkly, some of them are a little bit more kind of smoother and less shiny, but still really beautiful. Some of these are a little bit more opaque than others as well. So we're gonna get into that. I'm gonna do some quick comparisons for texture reference amongst some other more well-known brands that you might see at Sephora or Ulta or at the drugstore to give you an idea on how these will compare. And I will be doing eye swatches of all the shades, and then I'll give you some of my thoughts at the end of the video. So let's get right into it. I did try to choose shades that were somewhat closer-ish in color so it wasn't too distracting, but this is really for textural purposes only. So here's Howdy, and the shade has the larger particle size, the one that's a lot more sparkly. This is Yeehaw, which is an example of the smoother texture. Here is e.l.f. Cosmetics Champagne Showers, and here is Wild Dipper from Urban Decay. I think you can for sure see the shine level, opacity level, which again, that's going to vary per brand, per shade. But these are so beautiful, so smooth. And then e.l.f. here, and then Urban Decay. I wish I got that one a little closer in. These next 3 are We Need Better Lighting, the bottom shade from Patrick Ta, Magic Sprinkles from Too Faced, and the Moira Eyeshadow Sugar Crush. Definitely some extra sparkly shades with this set. I think the Moira is probably the least like sparkly in a way, but it's still really shiny and beautiful. So here they are in comparison. I think you can really see the textural difference. The sparkle kind of sits on top, particularly the Urban Decay. And while the e.l.f. shade is more sheer, it does have just less of a sparkly sheen. It has a little bit more of like just like a regular smoother sheen. And then for the close-up of the sparkle, maybe this way is the easiest to see them all together. First shade I'm going to eye swatch is UFO, and this is an iridescent. Picks up quite smooth, just a little bit powdery. Definitely feels very smooth, and it is very translucent. Next shade is Keep On Shining. This one seems like it's going to be a little bit more shiny. Very, very smooth. And it is a little bit more opaque for sure. Color-wise, it is way different from UFO. And with Flash, not really much sparkle going on. With Flash, I can definitely see a little bit of sparkle there all the way in the end. Next shade is Spaced Out. This looks like an icy white, and it looks like it might be a little bit sparkly. It feels a little bit powdery. I feel like I see for sure just like it's got a little bit of a beige tint to it. Oh Hey on this side looks very smooth. You know what this one feels like? It feels like the single eyeshadows from M Cosmetics, where it has almost like, I can't even describe the texture. It has like a little bit of maybe like friction when you touch it. It just has a very particular texture to it. I'm really excited to see this one on the lid. Oh, this one is for sure a wet look shadow. This one has a little bit of yellow going on, and this one is just like icy. And with Flash, definitely see some sparkle in this one. A little bit, just a little bit of sparkle in this one. This one's very, very smooth. Next shade is a Yeehaw. This one looks like it has a little bit of extra something going on for it, especially compared to the other shade I'm gonna use on the other eye, which is Giddy Up. There's just a little bit of a textural difference. Here's a Yeehaw, very smooth. Maybe a little bit of a shift in it as well. Oh, that is so nice and smooth. Oh my goodness. And again, very wet look. Here is Giddy Up. So this one is more bronzy. This one feels similar to the previous shade I swatched on this eye. So similar a little bit to the Cosmetics shades. I don't know if they even make those anymore. Oh, that is so beautiful. And it's so smooth but shiny. And with Flash, definitely see quite a bit of sparkle with this one. I think this one will be, yeah, very subtle, just a tiny bit of sparkle. Next shade is Howdy, and this one is very, very sparkly. This one definitely feels like it's very opaque and a little bit thicker to the touch. And a little bit goes a long way. I think I definitely picked up too much. But at least you can see it opaque. I do think if you picked up less and you just tapped it on, you could have it shared out a little bit. Oh my goodness, this one is so beautiful. Cosmic Dolly on this side. I thought these two shades were kind of similar, but not really. Very smooth. And it felt like almost like a little bit creamy when I touched it, but now that I'm putting it on the lid, it feels pretty dry. I feel like not in a bad way. And I think this was definitely, this one will have less sparkle. This is just super metallic. This one as a one and done shadow. I mean, both of these. And here it is with Flash. So much sparkle. With Flash, a little bit baby sparkles. Next up is Ouda, and this one is a duochrome for sure. Got a little bit of a purple shift going on. It's very smooth. It definitely has a little bit of a base. You can kind of see it here. It's like very warm tone brown kind of base. Lovely one and done shade. Country Charm, which is just like a bright gold. Slightly leaning a little bit. It's bright, but it's kind of a little bit of a darker gold. Very smooth. I don't know if this is one. I don't think either of these are sparkly per se, but they are definitely wet looking, very smooth, easy to use. With Flash, just a little bit of sparkle, and same on this side. It's really mostly smooth and shiny. And these are the last two shades. I thought these were kind of similar, but not really. This one is definitely a little bit more textured looking in the pan. I think this one will be more sparkly. And this one also is a little bit more grayish leaning versus this one's like a true silver. And this is Wild West and this is See You in Space. Oh yeah, this one's definitely going to be very sparkly. And it's very smooth. Even though it looked like it might be just a little bit textured in the pan. And then See You in Space. This is a beautiful, smooth, metallic. Look at that. And with Flash, definitely see lots of sparkle. And just more fine sparkle with the silver. I think these are so beautiful, and the fact that they're only $5 just blows my mind. I do have a slight mixed feeling on the fact that these vary in texture. I think one part of me likes that because I think it's a nicer variety. However, I feel like some of the shades I would have loved to have seen actually in the more sparkly texture. So it's kind of like both. I do like that that's both. I do think that it gives you more variety in terms of when you're buying a bunch of these, you're not getting the same texture. I think that also opens it up to a larger consumer base because people can pick and choose if they want a lot of sparkle. Do they want something a little bit more opaque, a little bit more subdued, not as sparkly? In my opinion, these are way better than the e.l.f. Cosmetics single eyeshadows, the Finest Fleck. I do have a dedicated video on these. I swatched these. These are nicer, and these are also $1 less, or $2 actually. I think these are $6 or $7. I forget now. It depends on what you're looking for, and it also depends very much on what you like to wear on your lids. I also like that they have a pretty wide variety of shades to choose from, especially unlike the e.l.f. Cosmetics if we're going to be comparing them specifically. You have neutrals, you have some more colorful shades, you have some duochromes, and then you have some iridescence. I just think that they have a really nice variety of like any kind of shade someone might want. Some of the shades feel a little bit more slick to the touch, but not in like a complete putty way. And with the more sparkly, slightly larger textured shades, I would highly recommend a tacky primer, unless of course you don't really experience a fallout. Usually then you might not need to worry about it. I will personally, as somebody with hooded oily lids, I will definitely be using a tacky primer with the more sparkly shades. I do tend to get fallout a lot throughout the day. I think these flew under the radar quite a bit in 2024. I know that, of course, Urban Decay is going to get a lot of hype. I really wanted to talk about these on my channel. I talk a lot about different textures, different formulations, different brands, and they usually are kind of in the higher price range. And these were just such an amazing find and such an amazing surprise that these were actually super nice. It's not like they're nice for the price, which is kind of how I feel about the e.l.f. shadows. So let me know in the comments below if you have tried any of these. I would love to hear your thoughts. I am wearing the shade Ouda right now all over my lid. I love the way it looks. It applied really nicely. And if you love sparkly eyeshadows and you enjoy this kind of content, I will put some videos up on the screen that you can check out. And thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you next time.